If I had to tell my child only one thing, it would be this. A good life comes from knowing who you are, acting with discipline, staying calm under pressure, and doing good for the world. Every small promise you keep makes you powerful. This is the final chapter of this series. If you ever asked me, what does it really take to grow, to succeed, and to stay centered in this world, I would not give you vague advice. I would give patterns, principles, the things human beings across thousands of years discovered, tested, lived, and passed down. That was the intention behind this entire series, Sacred Paths to Growth. To study the greatest spiritual traditions, not for devotion, but for design. Because every strong life is built like architecture. Clarity is the foundation, discipline is the frame, courage is the doorway, contribution is the light that fills the space, presence is the breath that animates the whole structure. This video closes the series, and like I would tell my own child, I will tell you the same. These teachings are not meant to overwhelm you. They are meant to equip you so you never feel lost in life. Let's get into it. When you zoom out, every tradition is teaching the same blueprint. The Bhagavad Gita tells you to act with clarity. Buddhism tells you to observe the mind. Stoicism tells you to control what you can. Islam tells you to be disciplined and grateful. Jesus teaches ambition with compassion. Jainism teaches restraint. Shiva teaches tapas. Zen teaches presence. Indigenous teachings say live in balance. The goddess traditions show you transformation in cycles. If I simplify all of them into one sentence a child can understand, this would be it. A good life comes from knowing who you are, acting with discipline, staying calm under pressure, and doing good for the world. Everything else is detail. Imagine walking into a forest without knowing your destination. You will be confused, tired, frustrated. Most adults live like that. The Gita says your dharma is your direction. Confucius says order begins with the self. Shinto says keep the mind and intention clean. Celtic wisdom demands inner sovereignty. Transcendentalists say trust your inner voice. If I said this to my own child, I would say this. Before you try to become someone, decide who you refuse to be. Clarity grows when you remove noise. Stop comparing. Stop copying. Stop needing approval. Stop chasing trends. Stop trying to impress. Then ask yourself what energizes me, what drains me, what values matter to me, what am I avoiding, what am I building long term. Clarity is not found, it is formed through honesty. Discipline. Keep your word to yourself. This is the spine of every tradition. Shiva sat through the storms. Buddhism trained the mind to sit still. Jain monks live with restraint. Islam teaches structure through prayer and fasting. Ramadan is a university of self-control. Hanuman shows devotion turned into strength. Vikings practiced courage through action. Guru Nanak taught truthful work and consistency. If I were explaining this to my child, I'd say this. Every time you promise yourself something and break it, you teach your mind that your own word cannot be trusted. And the opposite is also true. Every small promise you keep makes you powerful. Discipline is not about perfection, it is about alignment. A clear mind and inconsistent habits cannot coexist. If you want a life that feels steady, predictable, and strong, wake up with intention. Keep a routine. Train your body. Control your impulses. Finish what you start. Discipline frees you more than what motivation ever will. Mindset. Train your mind like an athlete trains their body. Buddhism teaches that pain is part of life, but suffering is optional. Stoicism says emotions are signals, not commands. Zen says the present moment is your power. Greek philosophy says joy is wisdom. Indigenous teachings say harmony matters more than speed. If I were to explain this to my child, I would say this: your mind is a garden. If you don't choose what grows, weeds will grow. A strong mindset comes from observing thoughts instead of drowning in them, feeling emotions without obeying them, letting go of things that don't matter, staying calm when everything is loud, focusing on what you can influence today. When your mind becomes steady, your life becomes simple. Desire, want, but with awareness. Every tradition warns about uncontrolled desire. Buddhism says craving leads to suffering. Taoism says forcing outcomes blocks flow. New Thought says manifestation without action is superstition. Jainism says desire without restraint leads to chaos. Bhagavad Gita says attachment clouds judgment. If I explain this to my child, I would say this: desire is fire. When you control it, it cooks your food. When it controls you, it burns your house. Ask yourself, why do I want this? Is it ego? Is it insecurity? Is it pressure? Is it alignment? When the why becomes clean, your actions become sharp. Courage. Walk toward fear, not away from it. All the warrior traditions say the same thing. Chandraghanta teaches calm power. Katyayani teaches righteous action. Kalaratri teaches fearlessness in darkness. Hanuman teaches courage with humility. The Vikings teach dignity under pressure. Indigenous warriors teach protection, not aggression. If I explain it to my child, I'd say this: brave people feel fear exactly like everyone else. They just walk forward any day. Courage is not loud, it is consistent. Speak the truth when it is uncomfortable. Do the hard thing first. Fix your mistakes without excuses. Admit what you don't know. Face situations you want to avoid. Courage builds character faster than comfort ever will. Service and wealth. Be useful to the world. Guru Nanak says, serve and work honestly. Jewish tradition says, wealth is stewardship. Jesus teaches compassion and patience in ambition. Islam says, gratitude expands abundance. Ubuntu teaches that success is shared. Lakshmi represents prosperity through order and generosity. The cells see wealth as energy, not ownership. If I had to explain this to my child, I would say this: you become successful when other people's lives improve because you exist. Wealth stays in your life when your habits are clean, your intentions are honest, you're disciplined with your money, you help others grow, you create value consistently. Prosperity is the side effect of usefulness. Flow and surrender, the art of not forcing. Taoism says flow is power. Zen says presence sharpens everything. The Gita says act without obsession. Ramayana teaches that Victory is returning to your true self. To my child, I would say this: when you stop forcing the wrong things, the right things become clear. Surrender is not weakness, it is intelligence. Flow means do the work, take the step, drop the ego, trust the timing, stop fighting reality. When you do your part and let life do its part, outcomes unfold more smoothly. The goddess archetype, growth in 9 stages. Navratri explains human evolution better than most psychology textbooks. Shailaputri, stability. Brahmacharini, discipline. Chandraghanta, balanced strength. Kushmanda, creation through joy. Skandamata, nurture and release. Katyayani, fierce action. Kalaratri, walking into darkness. Mahagauri, renewal. Vijayadashami, victory. If I explained this to my own child, this would be it. You will reinvest yourself many times. Each phase is necessary. Diwali adds a final message. Light does not come from outside, it comes from cleaning the inside. Growth is cyclical. You rise, fall, learn, shed, and rise again. The final blueprint of a strong human being. After studying all these paths, here is what actually matters. If I had to tell my child only one thing, it would be this: a strong person is someone who knows themselves, acts with discipline, stays grounded under pressure, walks towards their fear, and contributes to the world with clarity and heart. This is spiritual intelligence. This is the real competitive advantage. Not rituals, not beliefs, not big words, but alignment. When your life matches your values, something inside you unlocks. You stop rushing, you stop doubting, you stop trying to be someone else, you start living. Sacred Paths to Growth was created so you never feel spiritually confused again. So you understand that despite different cultures, names, symbols, and languages, the truth is universal. You don't need 100 philosophies. You need one clear identity supported by disciplined action. This is the final chapter of this series. Not because we ran out of wisdom, but because now you have the foundation. From this point forward, you don't collect teachings, you embody them. You build your life with clarity. You walk with discipline. You stay calm. You stay useful. You stay aligned. This is your path now, your sacred path to growth. Thank you.